So you may be looking for a way to use Algolia on your React Native app, or maybe you just checking around for options that you can use for in-app searches within React Native. So I've gone through that step as well, and I've found that Algolia works best for me. So that's why I wanted to just create a quick video to show you how to implement Algolia Search on your React Native app. And like you can use Algolia for different experiences within a React Native app, and they kind of like give you a brief use case of Algolia for different like websites or apps. So e-commerce, SaaS, enterprise, media, marketplace. So these are all different use cases for Algolia, and they have a generous free package. You can have 10,000 searches for free and 10,000 recommend requests. Then the important one is that your records should be less than or equal to 10,000. There's a way around this. If, for example, you have a MongoDB database which has more than 10,000, let's say we have 20,000 items in your MongoDB database or your Firebase store or your AWS C3. So depending on where your data is stored. But if your data is more than those records which are noted there, then what you can do is that you can have what we call multiple indexes. For example, this will be one index, and then you can have another index of 10,000 and so forth. So I just spoke about indices right now, so I'll chat a bit about it even more. So what you normally do is that you'll go to your dashboard. Then in dashboard, you want to create a new index. Like the normally if you're opening Algolia for the first time, they're gonna take you through a tutorial, and you're gonna almost see the same thing. So you want to create a new index, and then you give it a name. For example, store, and then your name of the company that you're doing. Here I'll say Questa. So it's normally the name of the index, and you give it an underscore of the store. And then this is the paid option, this is the free option. Just shows that one, and then go to the next step. The next step is to select a database which is close to you. Like there's multiple locations. In this case, I'll just go with, I can just choose a random location. I'll go with let's say the UK. Press next, and then here they're just telling you your limits, that you have free 10,000 up to 10,000 records. And then here they have units per month, whereby like a unit represents the request. Okay, so we accept all of this. Say we accept all of this, and then you create your, just do the verification. Okay, that's cool. So we're just gonna do the same thing. So that's why we're creating the index now. So we're gonna use the same name like we did, Cresta. So, and then we create an index. It normally takes a bit of time when you create a new index. So you can just refresh it just to see if it's done. Let's go to the home, and then we see we have our items in here. So we have to actually upload data into to our store. And the way you upload your records, you can either upload them using the API, or you can upload them manually. If you have a CSV file or a JSON file, you can actually upload them. So they gave you simple instructions on how you can upload your records. Simple. And then if you wanna upload via the APK, they give you instructions as well. If you're using the API for the different languages, you can get the instructions. Cool. Yeah, so I think normally if you're starting out, just download your data into a CSV or JSON, and then simply upload it using this method. Just put here just to test out your data set. Okay, that's fine. So after you've finished all of this, you'll have your data within MongoDB, within Algolia. But I think what's best now is that I need to just show you the React Native implementation. For it, you don't really need to upload the data. We're gonna use the data from Algolia Search. They have a sample data set that we can use for our project. So what are my options for React Native? So with React Native, unfortunately, Algolia doesn't have ready-made React Native components. So you'll probably would have seen that they are React InstantSearch, but it doesn't really work with React Native. So you have to actually use connectors to hook that up, and then what you can do is that they give you like a bootstrap app that you can use, which is using Expo. The way you install it, you just simply copy this into your shell, and then just click go. And then this will generate this folder structure, and then from there you'll be able to play around with it. So after that, you say cd and start npm start, then it will just generate this app. So I'll put this link in the description just in case you wanna go have a look at that. So this is just like a ready-made app which is using React Native and Expo. So it has all the functionality that you might want, and you might use it as a reference for your own app. So what I did for myself is that I created a new app using React Native. So this is a React Native app. So I can just come here. So this is how the app looks. So if I pull up the emulator, this is the app, the way it looks. So what's happening here is that I'll just pull up the JSON file. So here you'll see that you need certain dependencies that you have to install. You have to install Algolia Search. That's the first one that you have to install. And then you have to install the prop types. What the prop types do is that it's like certain types which are used by Algolia. So if something is required, is there more items that they must pull? So that's why I use the types to like differentiate what is required by each of the MongoDB, Algolia components. The next one is the React instant hooks. you have to install that one, and then React InstantSearch native, just install that one as well. Then you're gonna see how they all work together. You'll see that there's nothing else which is installed. This is a plain React Native app. So whereby if you're gonna run it, you're gonna say npx run React Native, run Android. So I'll put the link to the GitHub repo of this file in the description, so you can just spin a new app up and then play around with it as well, or change it to your heart desires. So everything starts here in the app.js. App.js, you have to import Algolia search from Algolia search. So this is the one that we installed. Then what you're going to do next is that you're going to import InstantSearch from React InstantSearch native. So those are the first two items that you have to do. So after doing that, you can add this item here. So what is this? This actually is the search client. So it does that. It connects your Algolia to your app. So you have the first parameter, which is the index that you having there, and then this. Okay, both of these ones are like the keys. These are the keys that you can get from Algolia. So if you go to Algolia and then you search under, you should see a section for the keys. See, here is the APK keys. So you can just go there and grab your keys. So these keys, they belong here. And then what you're gonna do now, what I have here is just like a safe area view. That safe area view is wrapping the InstantSearch, which we installed here. And then we're gonna point the InstantSearch to the search client, which we're doing there. And then that we're saying that from the search client we want this index. So this is the index name that you have to put in. Automatically, that now this means that your app is connected to Algolia. And then what's happening now is that I have a component here which is the search box, and then we have another component which is the infinite hits. So if I come to the app here, the app has the search box. So if we say Samsung, so this is the search box at the top here, and then below the search box we have all these other options. These are the hits. So that's how it works. So you actually have the search box and they have hits, and then everything is wrapped within that instant search. So here I imported the search box, and then in here I imported the infinite hits. Don't worry, everything is in the GitHub repo. You can just simply grab the code. So I'm gonna go to the search box. So all of these items are like there's a source folder which I created. Then the source field folder has 3 items there. The first component is the search box, second component is the infinite hits, and the third one is the highlighting. Can you see it's highlighting here? So those are the 3 components here. If I go to the search box, you'll see that here, that's where we actually started using the prop types. And then we also installed something else as well, which is the connect search box from React InstantSearch native. Remember when I said that like with React Native you actually have to use connectors? That's when we actually use a connector here. So another thing, I just imported like a text input from React Native. So in this section, this is where my components start. So we have a search box, and this search box currently just takes current refinement and refine. These are components from Algolia. So these parameters can help you refine like the search. uh so that means that like in our text import, we're just gonna take these props. So the first prop that our own change text, we connect it to the refine prop, and then our value, we just connect it to the current refinement prop, and then you're done just like that. Here I'm just saying what type of props is required in the for each of those props. For example, the current refinement expects a string, and then the refine prop expects a function. And then after you finish with that, you just have to connect now the search box. So export default, connect search box with search box, because that's the name of our component here. We imported connect search box here, and then just like that, search is done. And then you import your search in the app. And then what you can do as well, we have that infinite hits, which is also under source and infinite hits. So what's happening here is that you have to, this is more of like like a flat list. A flat list is it's a map of data, so you're mapping all the data or all the search results, and it's an infinite infinite flat list, this one, in the sense that like once you reach the end, it loads more. Once you reach the end, it loads more. You can almost say when there's like a small start at the bottom, that's when it's reaching more items. So our flat list is connected to, we're fetching the data from the hits. The hits are coming from the hits are coming mainly from like since you wrapped your app in that instant search, so it will have your hits. So right now we're gonna take it as a prop, and then we have this has more as well. Has more, what it does is that it check if are there more items to in the search, and then it just brings them. Then refine next as well, it's a prop to, it's kind of like refines like the search that you have. And then the key extractor is coming from item.object id. So this is all coming from like the hits. So you're gonna get a JSON with all the hits, and then from those items we're just gonna take the id of the whole hit object or array. And then this is just like a separator, so we're separating, it's like the lines which are going forward, which we defined here, the style for it. And then this is the render item. Render item is how you want your list to appear. Like you can see here, we have the color coral, so we can change this to something ugly like red. So let's go like this, and you can see there it's actually reflecting. It's giving us the red that we just put in there, and then we're saying it's a column, and then we have a padding of 10. So let's go back to that coral color. I like coral for some reason. It's easier on the eye, and it's very subtle. And then we have another item here which says highlight attribute name hit item. So like now this is the component that I talk about, which is this highlight. So what highlight does is that it's a component which wraps the item that you're searching. So when it wraps the item that you're searching, it will wrap it and then give it a style. So let's go. This is mainly it for infinite hits, and then you have to also put a connector there for the infinite hits. Then we imported highlight at the top, so now we're gonna go to highlight, and then you can see that highlight is just like a text item which wraps children, which is a value, and then also has like we're taking the index amount, and that should be it. And then we just just noting here that what color do you want it to highlight with. If it's not highlighted, it should be a normal color. If it's highlighted, it should be transparent, and we mapping throughout all the highlights that we're getting. Cool. Yeah, and then just like that, you have a complete search which is in React Native, and yeah, everything is in React Native, pure React Native. Cool. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Give it a like if you found something helpful, useful, or even like something little. If it helped you, just give this, smash that like button and subscribe. And if you also want a complete tutorial whereby I start from scratch with a React Native app or an Expo app using Algolia, just let me know. Like I promised, I'll put all the items that I use here, the code in the description for you to use. I'll also put a bonus code as well for the bootstrapped Expo app. So you can choose whether you want the Expo or you want the React Native app. Cool. Have a great one, y'all. Cheers.